I talked to someone today and I realized that I had totally misjudged them. Have you ever gotten to a certain point in a conversation whereby you wonder how the conversation got there, because it's so different from what you were initially talking about? This person, let us call him Dan, told me that when we spoke the other day, he detected something that made him feel like I could relate to what he went through. We talked about isolation and existential depression. I believe many people go through it at some point in their lives. I don't think the word phrase best describes it because it's more like a season. You can only really see things as they are once you extract yourself mentally from the system you exist in, because when you are not busy hanging out with the crowd or worrying about everyday life, you are able to detect the patterns in the way of thinking as well as the flaws within the system you are in. I know that sometimes to see the flaws you have to put yourself in the system. For instance, when you want to know which issues people are facing in order to improve them, you may need to take some time to experience what they experience on a daily basis. However, in this case, I am talking about a system in which everyone is deeply brainwashed such that they can't even see what is wrong with what they are going through every day. When you don't fit in and when you stand alone, you can be able to see that. Anyway, like I was saying, we experience a point in time, a season or even more than one season, where we question the meaning of life and our existence in the world at a personal level. We realize that there is something strangely monotonous about waking up, eating, going somewhere or doing something, eating, sleeping, and then waking up the next day and doing the same thing all over again. We have to stop for a moment and ask ourselves why we do what we do. Sometimes we even begin to question our faith and whether God really exists. We explore the different interpretations of other people concerning our faith, such as ancient astronaut theories and those that say we only believe because the idea of God was passed down for generations. Sometimes we even feel like life is unfair because what if we didn't want to exist, we didn't choose to exist, we were chosen to exist, created to exist for the period of time we exist in. We talked about how these particular questions were brought about in our lives, and it boiled down to the times when life doesn't go according to plan. You could have been sailing through life and having your prayers answered, everything was imperfect yet comfortable, you had something to be thankful for, that is, evidently, perhaps even tangibly. However, when things stop going that way, for example, when you experience failure for the very first time, or loss, or heartbreak, or other negative circumstances, bitter feelings may arise, underneath which may lie frustration, anxiety, disbelief, embarrassment, hurt, etc. As we talked, Dan shared that when he first chose to follow God, he could hear his voice and the things he said would come to pass. He could see visions and the hand of God was so evident in his life. However, when things stopped going according to plan, everything changed, and the last time Dan remembers praying was when he was in trouble, and I told him not to feel bad because it is normal for humans to turn to a higher power in times of trouble. In my opinion, I can liken the feeling to one's first day of school. From the time you were born, you would have been used to having your parent or guardian by your side and have their hand to hold, but when you go to school for the first time, your parent or guardian has to let go of your hand. So it feels like God would have let go of your hand and you suddenly find yourself walking through life alone. Nothing makes sense, you feel isolated and alone, surrounded by many faces and voices you do not recognize. You miss the warmth and love you felt when you had a hand to hold, someone to depend on. You may ask for answers, but you still don't understand what is going on in your life, why you are where you are, why things didn't go as planned. But the pain is different from the pain you expected to feel, because deep down beneath the bitterness, anger, and hurt, you still feel like what you are going through is for a purpose and he didn't let go of your hand. You decide to let go of the sense of being a control freak over your life and the need to have to understand everything, and you yield to purpose. I believe that there is something good about questioning your beliefs and your search for purpose, because at the end of the day, when you decide to remain rooted in your faith in God, it is because you made that choice and you experienced God for yourself, not in theory or learning from someone else, and that is true salvation. Like Dan said, the difference between religion and spirituality is that you experience God for yourself. Sometimes the season is longer for others, and because they desperately want answers, anything tangible to explain their present situation, they look for answers elsewhere. Others drown how they feel temporarily by engaging in certain activities. I asked Dan whether his friends knew this side of him and he said no, which is something many people go through. They seem like a totally cool person to the crowd they hang out with, but they can never really be vulnerable in front of them. My conversation with Dan was another pointer that we are where we are for a reason and that our meeting was not by chance. It's in moments like those when you say, God, I see what you are doing. We are not alone in this life. I hope that whoever is listening to this succeeds in their journey of self-improvement and discovery, that they fulfill their purpose and make a positive impact on others, because life is like a chess game and all of us are the pieces. When one piece moves, it either blocks or creates a way for the other. Such is our impact in life. What we say and do can either make or break. With that, I wish you a prosperous day. Namaste.